Aloe vera is universally celebrated as one of the most useful, attractive, and low-maintenance plants you can grow in your home. For centuries, it has been prized not only for its striking succulent aesthetic, but for the soothing, cooling, clear gel packed inside its thick, fleshy leaves. It is a staple on sunny kitchen sills and desk spaces around the globe. Beginner plant owners routinely pick up an aloe vera expecting it to thrive with virtually zero attention, assuming that because it is a desert succulent, it will easily endure almost any indoor environment you drop it into. However, despite its tough reputation, thousands of plant owners find themselves facing perplexing indoor problems with their aloe vera. You bring home a plump, vibrant green plant with stiff, upright leaves, and within a few months, those thick stalks turn soft, flat, and start drooping dramatically over the edge of the pot. Or perhaps the entire plant changes color, shifting from a rich green to a sickly reddish brown or washed out yellow. Some growers find their aloe turns squishy at the base and completely collapses at the soil line, while others slice open a leaf expecting a rich harvest of soothing gel, only to find thin, watery, hollow foliage. Keeping an aloe vera thriving indoors, where light is naturally filtered and air circulation is limited, requires a clear understanding of how desert succulents process sunlight, manage stored moisture, and build leaf tissue. In this complete masterclass, we are going to break down every secret to growing flawless indoor aloe vera plants. We will examine the exact lighting levels required to maintain stiff, vertical growth, uncover the soil and pot setups that eliminate root rot, explore proper watering frequencies, and walk step by step through the safest methods to harvest pure, raw gel without damaging the mother plant. To understand why aloe vera acts so dramatically indoors, we have to look at its evolutionary origins. Native to the Arabian Peninsula, aloe vera evolved to endure intense, direct sunlight, high heat, sandy, nutrient-poor soil, and long stretches of severe drought. To survive these brutal conditions, the plant developed thick, gel-filled leaves covered in a waxy outer skin designed to trap every single drop of water. Its root system, however, is remarkably shallow and delicate compared to the massive foliage above ground. This shallow root structure is the primary reason aloe vera suffers so severely from improper soil selection and overwatering indoors. In a typical home, standard potting soils hold moisture for far too long. When an aloe vera sits in heavy, waterlogged dirt, its thin roots suffocate from lack of oxygen within days. The root tissue breaks down, allowing fungal pathogens to rot the core of the plant. The first visible signal of root damage in an aloe vera is a soft, mushy texture near the crown, accompanied by leaves that drop flat or feel hollow to the touch. Many plant owners misinterpret droopy leaves as a sign of thirst and pour in even more water, accelerating the decay. If you touch a leaf near the base of your plant and it feels like a water-filled balloon ready to pop, or if the lower leaves turn translucent yellow and slide away from the central stem, your plant's roots are severely overwhelmed by moisture. To make root rot virtually impossible, you must construct a fast-draining potting medium that mimics the rocky, sandy slopes of its natural habitat. Regular commercial potting soil from the store should never be used on its own for aloe vera. Instead, construct a desert mix by combining 1 part standard potting soil with 2 parts gritty. Inorganic materials such as coarse perlite, pumice, or sharp horticultural sand. This high concentration of grit creates wide air channels throughout the pot, allowing excess water to flush straight through while giving the shallow roots immediate access to oxygen. Equal attention must be paid to your choice of container. Plastic and glazed ceramic pots lock moisture inside the soil, forcing it to evaporate extremely slowly. For aloe vera, unglazed terracotta pots are the gold standard. Terracotta is naturally porous, meaning air travels through the clay walls to pull moisture out of the soil from every angle. Always ensure your pot features a wide, completely unobstructed drainage hole at the bottom. Once your soil and pot architecture are dialed in, you can master the watering cycle. The fundamental rule for indoor aloe vera care is to let the soil dry out entirely throughout the pot before adding a single drop of water. Rather than guessing or sticking to a rigid weekly schedule, use the plant's leaves as your guide. A fully hydrated aloe vera possesses plump, firm leaves that feel hard when you gently squeeze the sides. As the plant exhausts its soil moisture, it begins drinking from its stored leaf gel. The leaves will feel slightly softer and display subtle indents or concave curves along the inner surface. This slight deflating is your signal that the plant is ready for a deep watering. When you do water, soak the soil thoroughly until water flushes out of the bottom drainage holes, then discard all excess water in the saucer. During the fall and winter months, when daylight decreases and the plant enters a dormant phase, you may only need to water your indoor aloe once every 4 to 6 weeks. Now let's address lighting, which is often the trickiest factor to balance indoors. Aloe vera requires a massive amount of light energy to produce thick gel and support heavy foliage. Indoors, the single best spot for an aloe vera is directly on the ledge of an unshaded south or west-facing window, where it can receive at least 6 hours of direct to bright, indirect sunlight daily. If an aloe vera receives insufficient light, it begins a process called etiolation. The leaves stretch out thin, pale, and weak as the plant desperately tries to search for light. As the leaves grow long and narrow, they lose the structural strength needed to stay upright, causing them to crease near the base and flop over the rim of the pot. If your plant is stretching, pale, and floppy, it is begging for higher light intensity. Conversely, you can also give an aloe vera a sudden light shock. If you abruptly move an aloe vera from a dim corner directly out onto a scorching outdoor patio in midsummer, the sudden surge of ultraviolet radiation forces the plant to produce protective pigments, shifting its color from bright green to a dark bronze, brown, or reddish hue. This discoloration is known as environmental stress bronzing. It is not necessarily fatal, but it indicates that the light transition was too sudden. To move an aloe vera to a significantly brighter spot, acclimate it gradually over 7 to 10 days, increasing its exposure to direct rays bit by bit. Another key component of long-term aloe care is managing pups, the small baby offshoots that cluster around the base of a mature mother plant. As a healthy aloe vera grows, it sends out underground runners that sprout mini-clones beside the primary stem. While these baby pups look charming, leaving dozens of them attached to the main plant forces them to compete for finite soil space, water, and nutrients. Removing and potting up aloe pups is simple and allows you to expand your plant collection completely for free. Wait until a pup develops at least 4 or 5 distinct leaves and reaches roughly 1/5 the size of the mother plant. At this stage, the pup will have formed its own small root structure beneath the soil surface. Carefully remove the entire plant from its pot and brush away the dirt around the junction where the pup connects to the mother. Using a clean, sanitized knife, slice the runner connecting the baby to the parent stem, ensuring you keep as many of the pup's roots intact as possible. Before planting the newly separated pup into soil, place it in a dry, shaded spot indoors for 2 to 3 days. This step allows the cut wound on the stem to dry out and form a protective callus. Skipping this drying phase leaves an open wound exposed to damp soil, which invites bacterial rot to attack the young plant. Once the cut has calloused over, pot the pup into a small terracotta container with gritty succulent soil. Wait 3 or 4 days before giving it its first light watering, and place it in bright, indirect light to root. Finally, let's discuss harvesting the clear inner leaf gel for topical use. To harvest safely without harming the mother plant, always select the largest, oldest, most mature leaves located at the very outer base of the plant. Avoid cutting younger leaves from the center crown, as doing so disrupts the plant's new growth point. Take a sharp, disinfected knife and cut the selected outer leaf at a slight angle, right where it joins the central main stem. Immediately after severing the leaf, you will notice a yellowish, latex-like sap oozing from the cut edge. This yellow sap is called aloin. Aloin is a naturally bitter chemical compound produced by the plant as a defense mechanism against herbivores. It can irritate sensitive skin and cause stomach upset if ingested. To remove the aloin, stand the freshly cut leaf upright in a glass or jar for 15 to 20 minutes, allowing the yellow liquid to drain out completely. Once drained, rinse the leaf thoroughly under cool tap water. Next, place the leaf flat on a clean cutting board. Slice off the spiky serrated margins along both sides, and carefully slide your knife underneath the top layer of green skin to peel it away. You will be left with a completely clear, jelly-like slab of pure raw aloe gel that can be blended, stored in the refrigerator for up to a week, or frozen into ice cubes for instant cooling application on minor skin irritations. By balancing bright sunlight, using porous, gritty soil, allowing the pot to dry completely between waterings, and harvesting from mature outer foliage, your indoor aloe vera will remain thick, upright, and productive for years on end.